and welcome. If this is your first time here, my name is Courtney and my channel is all about connecting with crystals, learning about their metaphysical benefits, and really just becoming aware of this unique energy that's available to all of us. So thank you for joining me. Today I'm continuing on with my new series, my new setup here, and that is talking about my current favorites, which are all crystals. And I also would love to dive into November's energy, kind of see the month ahead, see what we can expect in an astrological and also energetic way. So without further ado, let's jump into today's video. If you are a returning subscriber, let me know by liking this video right now, or if you're just excited to hear about my current crystal favorites and looking into November's astrology, give me a big like. It really does help me out. Side note, if you guys have an idea for what this series should be called, I am still trying to figure out something catchy that can be what this is. I feel like current favorites works, and the month ahead astrology works, but I'm just curious to see if you guys had a cute idea for what to call this monthly series here on my channel. So please let me know in the comments down below. So this past October, I'm definitely, if you watched my last video where I talked about my current favorites and October energy, I very much still carried over working with those crystals, but I did bring a few over that are newer. 3 crystals I'll be sharing with you that I've been hyper focused on and have been so drawn to lately. So I'm excited to share that with you. Also this month, as we are ending October, as I'm filming this, it's the very end of October. We're about to head into November, and we've had so much going on astrologically. Eclipse season is always a big time for change, for us to pick up on energy easier. And it's just been a really intense month. I hope you guys are doing good. I know kind of the collective standpoint, it's been pretty rough for a lot of people. So I hope you're hanging in there. So I'm just going to dive into the crystals that have really helped me during this, eclipse time. As I'm filming this, we're still in eclipse season. So I'm still feeling this energy very, very much. So without further ado, let's jump into the first crystal I'd love to share with you, and that is chlorite phantom quartz. This is also known as garden quartz, and it's also known as lodolite. I was feeling super drawn to work with chlorite phantom quartz. I'm just going to call it garden quartz just because it's easier to say, roll off the tongue. I got a new plant this month, and I wanted to put a new crystal in it. And I just really had this feeling that chlorite phantom quartz was the one for that specific plant. And I have little tiny little guys that are crystal grid that are garden quartz. So I was originally putting this in there, but then I was so drawn to it. I felt this connection to work with it. So I just ended up putting my little crystal grid garden quartz in the plant. It's actually the plant up in that corner right there. I got some garden quartz in it right now. But this crystal in general, it has to do with self-healing. It helps us connect with nature, and it helps us when we feel a little bit stagnant in life. I feel like this past month that we've been going through eclipse season, we kind of take stock in where we are in life and kind of assess our situations. And I gotta say, I did feel this past month I was thinking about my life, and I felt like there was a lot of areas that I really want to grow in and I want to keep pursuing. And this is just the best companion to have with you when you are feeling this feeling of you want change, you want to grow, you're ready for the next thing to come your way. So I've been consistently working with this stone. I love it. I love the clear quartz element with this. It has this amplification energy towards it. So as you're working with this stone, you feel like you are accomplishing kind of your personal pursuits, your spiritual pursuits. It's all wrapped up into one. So I've been really vibing with this one, and I totally recommend this if you're kind of going through a period of, stagnation. You need new seeds to be planted to sprout. I definitely recommend working with garden quartz. Alrighty, so the next 2 crystals I'm going to share with you, I've actually been highlighting a lot here on my channel, and I can't help it because as we're in Scorpio season, I mentioned both of these crystals in it. And then I also mentioned both of them in my transformation video, Crystals for Transformation. And I can't help it. It's just been popping up in my life. I've been working with labradorite so much this month. It's like I said, if you've watched both of those videos, it's just this energy of like the synchronicities, the feeling the oneness that you feel with the universe, kind of like having a little bit of luck on your side, also having a little bit of magic on your side. Things just seem to go your way when you're working with labradorite. And I've had this next to my desk and I've just been having it with me, and I feel like I feel this energy of just magic and wonder and possibility. Labradorite is just one of those crystals that so many people can become attracted to right away when they start working with it. It just has this strong energy of opening our third eye and just being open to possibilities around us. I also feel like this past month, I feel like I've been having more downloads. And more so in like a sense of like my angels communicating with me. And I kind of was self-reflecting about this a little bit ago, thinking how I feel like I've been getting a lot of signs from my angels, and I've been working with labradorite a little bit more, and it kind of helps us with kind of like communicating with spirit and like just in that mystical way. And I was like kind of thinking like maybe it has to do with my labradorite. I've been able to like tap in to that kind of divine connection with labradorite. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a little woo-woo, but I feel like the labradorite has definitely made an impact in my divine connection and talking with my angels. And the last crystal that I wanted to share with you that I've been very drawn to, like I said, these last two I have been talking about a lot on my channel, and that is my fave, Shiva lingam. So if you watch my Crystals for Transformation video or my Scorpio video, you know I was referencing Shiva lingam these past couple weeks, and I've been working with it, and man, do I feel like this stone in particular has really wrapped up like all three of these crystals working together. You know, this feeling of feeling a little stagnant in my life, wanting to grow a little bit. That's like the best scenario for working with Shiva lingam. You have this feeling that you want kind of like a fresh start, you want a rebirth, you're ready for like a new version of you. I think it's kind of funny, all three of these really go so well together, and they all really match a spiritual growth theme. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I can definitely pick up on the energy that I am currently, I guess, gravitating towards with these crystals. And it does seem like I am kind of going through a sort of transformation right now. I don't know what the future holds, but I can definitely see the patterns and see the signs by my crystals that I'm currently resonating with. So we'll see what happens, but I'm definitely having this spiritual growth vibe going on in my life right now. Alrighty, so now that I went over the crystals that I'm really vibing with, that I've been, having around me a lot, I would love to now dive into November's energy, kind of seeing what we can expect, some fun highlights with the astrology. I just want to say that I am not an astrologer. I love following the phases of the moon and studying astrology, but I'm not an astrologer, so just keep that in mind. So as we are in the midst of eclipse season currently, when you're watching this, it'll be still eclipse season. We have that definite energy still very present. Something to note about the very last days of October as we go into November is we have two kind of significant transits. On October 23rd, Jupiter entered Pisces again. It was out of Pisces for a little bit, and it just entered back into Pisces, Jupiter did, and I'm so excited with this transit. In my Crystals for 2022 video, I talked about how I was working with green adventuring, symbolizing Jupiter. So right now, in last month's video, I talked about how I was so drawn to green adventuring. I'm still vibing with green adventuring, and now that this transit happened, as we're kind of finishing off the end of the year, we have Jupiter back in Pisces, which is such a celebration. It's so good. There's so much goodness and benevolence there. So if you have green adventuring, I definitely think that's a great pairing to work with Jupiter energy and, have your green adventure symbolize Jupiter blessings in your life. So I wanted to highlight that really quickly. Also, on October 30th, right before we go into November, we have Mars going retrograde. I also thought of another crystal that I thought would work really well with this energy, and that is carnelian. Specifically, though, I would say in a cube shape, because cube shapes are all about structure, order, organization. And when Mars is going retrograde, it can make us a little lazy. It can make us feel like not as motivated as we normally do, because Mars is a planet of action. It's like the planet of war. It's like super fire. So I feel like carnelian matches Mars energy so good. So if you can get a carnelian in a cube shape, I think that's wonderful to work with during this Mars retrograde. I just wanted to highlight those really quickly before I go into November, because it is kind of a big deal, both of them. Anyway, I digress. Just wanted to bring up those two transits. Now we can jump into November energy. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was the full moon total lunar eclipse in Taurus. This happens on November 8th. This eclipse is probably going to be very emotional, because Taurus can be challenging, and having this lunar energy on top of a total lunar eclipse, it's just going to be very magnified. So if you can do any kind of grounding practice that you really enjoy, this would be the time to do it, to really just find something that calms you, find something that grounds you, and do that, 3 days before, 3 days after. This is going to be a very heavy energy that we're going to feel. I would say, if I self-reflect on the last eclipse we had in Scorpio, on the day of, it didn't feel too bad, but it was the days after that I felt it the most, and I felt very much in my shadow. So we'll see how this Taurus eclipse feels for us all, but I'm expecting it to feel pretty intense. November is a time when we transition from Scorpio season to Sagittarius season. The sun enters Sag on November 22nd, and I'm really excited for Sagittarius season. Kind of just having this kind of like adventurous point of view towards things, seeing things, with the glass half full type of way. I feel like that's a nice mindset as we head into, the winter time. What's really nice about entering into Sagittarius season is that we have a beautiful new moon the next day. So on November 23rd, we have a new moon in Sagittarius. And I really do feel this is going to be a great transitioning energy. We're shifting from Scorpio to Sag. I feel like it's going to feel really good. We're going to be feeling good around this time. I also feel like it's a really good opportunity to kind of like map out the rest of our year. We're at the tail end of 2022. We're going to be thinking about 2023 a lot, at the end of the year, especially after the holidays, after Thanksgiving. If you live in America and you celebrate Thanksgiving, or if you don't, whatever, that's kind of like the marker of like when it's just like holiday like craziness. So things are just going to be ramping up from then on. So I would say this new moon on November 23rd is a great time to list out the things that you want done by the end of the year. And you can even think about, what are the things that I want to really do in the year ahead. But I think there is more power in knowing what needs to be done by the end of the year. So definitely, as you're setting intentions during this new moon, really self-reflect, what do you need to get done by the end of the year? And that's really all I have for today for my little November energy highlights. Nothing crazy, but just wanted to talk about it with you guys, and so we can all be aware of this energy coming in. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want to comment below a current favorite that you have been gravitating towards as far as crystals go, let me know down below. Or if you're also resonating with one of the crystals that I talked about currently, you find yourself working with that same crystal right now, let me know. Let us know in the comments. I think that's really fun when we can see like all of us connecting on that level. We all can share this crystal resonance. So I would love to know. If you are new here, I would love it if you subscribed. Come on and check out some of my other videos. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in my next one.